they had the opening match. The Hurt Syndicate has been put in this casino gauntlet battle royal to determine the new national champion, etc. And so far, really, it's like Hong Kong Phooey and Kevin Knight and Ricochet and his stooges and Lashley and Benjamin. And so now they decided, since they've announced 6 people for this, they'll have not only a match for the number 1 spot between 2 of them, but then another match later on. So the opening match was Bobby Lashley against Ricochet for the number 1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet pay-per-view match to determine who the new national champion is going to be. And visually, it was ridiculous. And if it was the heel that was the, fucking giant, and the babyface was the little resourceful, quick fellow, there may be something there. But here, the heel is the Incredible Shrinking Man. And they knew they couldn't get any time out of this. And I'm sure the Hurt Syndicate probably registered their thoughts. So they had, and Ricochet again has the heat of, we know you're just a fucking dweeb in person and we just don't like you type of heat from these people now. But they had him cut a promo for most of the time, and then they had a 3-minute match. I'm not complaining about the fucking match being short, but have you ever seen a promo from supposedly a star wrestler on a national TV show that looked more like a kid in 1997 with a VHS camera playing wrestler at his backyard wrestling federation than this Ricochet promo?
We see plenty of bad promos. This was bad, and also bad delivery, his voice. This was one of the worst promos I've seen, and it went on for way too long. Ricochet shouldn't be on. He was best used in Lucha Underground as a mute masked man. Because then he was impressive. Every time he's out there and he talks, you take him less seriously. It's not like, oh, he's a heel, I hate him, like Dominic. I can't wait for the babyfaces to get their hands on him. It ain't that. He's an annoying heel in the wrong kind of annoying way. And not a good promo. Doesn't know how to do a promo.
They were literally chanting "shut the fuck up" because they wanted him to. And it's not heel heat. This is don't care heat. And everybody, Lashley's standing there. He had to stand there for like 4 minutes while this guy rambles on. Again, Lashley is best presented when he can be explosive and etc. And finally, the biggest pop probably of the whole thing was, and right after Tony Schiavone had said, why doesn't Lashley just hit him in the back of the head? Lashley went over, grabbed him, and choke slammed him over the top rope onto his stooges. And that got a pop. But then, Lashley hit the post a time so Ricochet could take over. And then he made a comeback in seconds and a spear, 1, 2, 3. At least, as I said, the match was short, but I don't know what the fuck this is doing for anybody. Do you?
I don't think it's done anything to help the Hurt Syndicate, this feud with Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. I think you could argue it's helped the Gates of Agony because they're booked less awfully than they were.
But they perform equally as awfully.
Ricochet is, remember what turned him heel in the first place with AEW? It's like the more exposure you have to him, the less you want to hear him or see him.
He's like if Eddie Haskell was the star of Leave It to Beaver rather than just a supporting player.
Right. I guess that's a way to look at it. I don't think he's anywhere near as talented as Ken Osmond, for the record.
Well, no, but the annoying character for the whole show is rather than, he's fucking annoying.
I just saw the episode where Eddie's dad comes to visit Ward Cleaver because Beaver put a voodoo curse on Eddie with a voodoo doll because they snuck into the wrong movie theater to see like some movie about like voodoo, and Beaver somehow now has black magic abilities, according to Eddie's dad.
Well, that's almost as good as the one where when Lumpy Rutherford put the fucking fireworks in the jalopy that Wally and Eddie Haskell were riding in, they hooked his back axle up to a tree so that he couldn't drive out of his driveway, and it jerked his axle off, and they had to put it back on.
Yeah, the best part about that, too, is his dad comes right out and starts yelling at him. I knew you were an idiot. Go back inside.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now we'll leave the senior community and come back to what happened on Dynamite.
Hey, these are stars of TBS's past.
Yes.
The new Leave It to Beaver.
And people still remember them. You're going to remember this in fucking 15 minutes, probably.